Hello, I hope you're well. Thank you for joining with me again today in our exploration of A Course in Miracles. Um, I'm curious how you're doing with it so far. Please feel free to share any comments or email me. You can contact me through either of my websites, alilacenter.org or andreagrace.com. So today we will be practicing lesson 18. We're continuing our reading from the text. We're in chapter 18, and so we'll start with that, and then we will look at one of the principles of miracles just to bring that top of mind. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share our screen, read A Course in Miracles. I keep doing my best to remember to bring this window down so that it stays in view, but I notice that it resets itself and goes out of view. So sorry about that. All right, we're going to text. Chapter 18, The Passing of the Dream. And now we are at section 4, The Little Willingness. Okay. The holy instant is the result of your determination to be holy. It is the answer. The desire and the willingness to let it come precede its coming. You prepare your mind for it only to the extent of recognizing that you want it above all else. It is not necessary that you do more. Indeed, it is necessary that you realize that you cannot do more. Do not attempt to give the Holy Spirit what he does not ask, or you will add the ego to him and confuse the two. He asks but little. It is he who adds the greatness and the might. He joins with you to make the holy instant far greater than you can understand. It is your realization that you need do so little that enables him to give so much. Because we've started in the middle of the text, here we're being introduced to the holy instant. And all this paragraph is saying to us is that all you need to show up for the holy instant is your willingness. Because otherwise, if you add more to that, then your ego is in danger of getting in the way and using it for its means. I'm going to go back and share my screen here. And let's look up holy instant. We can see that there are 160 results, but the first result is all the way into chapter 14. So let's click on that. Could you but realize for a single instant the power of healing that the reflection of God shining in you can bring to all the world? You could not wait to make the mirror of your mind clean to receive the image of the holiness that heals the world. The image of holiness that shines in your mind is not obscure and will not change. Its meaning to those who look upon it is not obscure, for everyone perceives it as the same. All bring their different problems to its healing light, and all their problems find but healing there. So again, could you but realize for a single instant the power of the healing that the reflection of God shining in you can bring to all the world? Okay, so the holy instant is the realization. Okay, so let's continue to chapter 15, the holy instant. I'm just going to scroll down to where it's highlighted. The paragraph begins with, "This lesson takes no time." Again, we are in chapter 15. This lesson takes no time. So what lesson are they referring to? Let's scroll back up and see. Okay, so we're found in paragraph 7. The Holy Spirit teaches thus. Okay, so what does it teach? Let's look. There is no hell. Hell is only what the ego has made of the present. The belief in hell is what prevents you from understanding the present because you're afraid of it. The Holy Spirit leads as steadily to heaven as the ego drives to hell. For the Holy Spirit, who knows only the present, uses it to undo the fear by which the ego would make the present useless. There is no escape from fear in the ego's use of time, for time, according to its teaching, is nothing but a teaching device for compounding guilt until it becomes all-encompassing, demanding vengeance forever. The Holy Spirit would undo all of this now. And then it goes on to say that fear is not of the present, but only of the past and future, which do not exist. All right, and we talked about that in our last video. I'm going to skip down to here, and the present extends forever. It is so beautiful and so clean and free of guilt that nothing but happiness is there. No darkness is remembered, and immortality and joy are now. Okay, so it's reminding us that this lesson takes no time. For what is time without a past and a future? It has taken time to misguide you so completely, but it takes no time at all to be what you are. Begin to practice the Holy Spirit's use of time as a teaching aid to happiness and peace. Take this very instant now and think of it as all there is of time. Nothing can reach you here out of the past. And it's here that you're completely absolved, completely free, and wholly without condemnation. From this holy instant, wherein holiness was born again, you'll go forth in time without fear and with no sense of change with time. Okay, so the holy instant is realizing what we are in pure presence in this now moment. Again, I'll go back to sentence 5. Take this very instant now and think of it as all there is of time, reminding us that nothing can reach you here out of the past. And it is here in the present moment that you are completely absolved, completely free, and wholly without condemnation, which was what I was mentioning in the previous video, how there is no such thing as sin. This is one of the greatest lies that religion teaches us. And this is what the Course is attempting to undo. Okay, so let's go back now to where we are in chapter 18, the little willingness. Okay. Paragraph 2. Trust not your good intentions, they're not enough. But trust implicitly your willingness, whatever else may enter. Concentrate only on this, and be not disturbed that shadows surround it. That is why you came. If you could come without them, you would not need the holy instant. Come to it not in arrogance, assuming that you must achieve the state its coming brings with it. The miracle of the holy instant lies in your willingness to let it be what it is, and in your willingness for this lies also your acceptance of yourself as you are meant to be. And so here we're being told that good intentions are not enough. It reminds you of the expression that the way to hell is paved with good intentions. I think that's the expression. So here we're again being directed specifically, explicitly to our personal will. And so just maybe take a moment to compare your personal will with intention. How are they different? Take a moment to check how, as you apply your intention and as you apply your will, how that could have a different kind of outcome, especially in light of how I finished the last video saying that where our intention goes, energy flows, and where our energy flows, our biology goes. So it suggests then that intention, attention, is connected to our energy, connected to our biology. And what this is asking us for is the will that I would say precedes our intention. It's our willingness to experience the holy instant, which is the experience of pure presence. And who we are meant to be is loving and generous and playful and curious, funny. All right, so I'm going to go back to sharing the screen for paragraph 3. Humility will never ask that you remain content with littleness, but it does require that you be not content with less than greatness that comes not of you. Your difficulty with the holy instant arises from your fixed conviction that you're not worthy of it. And what is this but the determination to be as you would make yourself? God did not create his dwelling place unworthy of him. And if you believe he cannot enter where he wills to be, you must be interfering with his will. You do not need the strength of willingness to come from you, but only from his will. Okay, so here we're being offered a redefinition in a way of humility. Humility will never ask that you remain content with littleness. So it could be that we have a misconception around what humility means, that humility means small, but that's actually not what humility is. Humility is dropping the pretense, dropping the persona, dropping the ego's misconceptions of worthlessness, of being not enough, of its self-judgment, dropping all of that so that our divine creator can enter through the golden rays to help us remember in one holy instant who we are and our own worthiness, which is our own magnificence. We're also being told that we're not to try. In this sentence, it says, you do not need the strength of willingness to come from you. It's not saying you do not need willingness to come from you. You do not need the strength of willingness to come from you. The strength comes from his will. Our job is just to be curious and willing. All right, let's continue to paragraph 4. The holy instant does not come from your little willingness alone. It is always the result of your small willingness combined with the unlimited power of God's will. You've been wrong in thinking that it is needful to prepare yourself for him. It is impossible to make arrogant preparations for holiness and not believe that it is up to you to establish the conditions for peace. God has established them. They do not wait upon your willingness for what they are. Your willingness is needed only to make it possible to teach you what they are. If you maintain you're unworthy of learning this, you're interfering with the lesson by believing that you must make... Oh, good one. I'll go back again to sentence 8. If you maintain you are unworthy of learning this, you're interfering with the lesson by believing that you must make the learner different. You did not make the learner, nor can you make him different. Would you first make a miracle yourself and then expect one to be made for you? Okay, I'm going to continue on to paragraph 5 here. Oh, look, we have a prayer coming up. Love it. All right, paragraph 5. You merely ask the question. The answer is given. Seek not to answer, but merely to receive the answer as it is given. In preparing for the holy instant, do not attempt to make yourself holy to be ready to receive it. That is but to confuse your role with God's. Atonement cannot come to those who think they must first atone, but only to those who offer it nothing more than simple willingness to make way for it. Purification is of God alone, and therefore for you. Rather than seek to prepare yourself for him, try to think thus. Purification is of God alone, and therefore for you. So here we're being directed to be very vigilant to the ego trying to do something in order to prepare for the holy instant. If we try to atone, we're confusing our role with God's. This is God's business. Okay, but we can prepare ourselves. So let's go back to the prayer and see what we have. You might want to take a screenshot of this prayer. I, who am host to God, am worthy of him. He who established his dwelling place in me, created it as he would have it be. It is not needful that I make it ready for him, but only that I do not interfere with his plan to restore me to my own awareness of my readiness, which is eternal. I need add nothing to his plan, but to receive it, I must be willing not to substitute my own in place of it. And I've shared in one of my Sunday services that the etymology of worship is actually tied into that which is worthy. The worsh part of the word worship has the same etymological root as worth. And so we worship that which we consider worthy. And so we're being pointed to finding the truth of our own worthiness. And how can we be unworthy when we are host to God? When we are the containers of his light. Let's continue with paragraph 6. I'm going to go back to sharing the screen. And that is all. Add more, and you'll merely take away the little that is asked. Remember, you made guilt, and that your plan for the escape from guilt has been to bring atonement to it and make salvation fearful. And it is only fear that you will add if you prepare yourself for love. The preparation for the holy instant belongs to him who gives it. Release yourself to him whose function is release. Do not assume his function for him. Give him but what he asks, that you may learn how little is your part and how great is his. Okay. And so here, we're back to humility. So what is it? To be yourself as you are in this moment and humble to God's great strength, to help us be willing vessels of his divine grace. Okay, I'm going to go back to sharing the screen for paragraph 7. It is this that makes the holy instant so easy and so natural. You make it difficult because you insist there must be more that you need do. You find it difficult to accept the idea that you need give so little to receive so much. And it is very hard for you to realize it is not personally insulting that your contribution and the Holy Spirit's are so extremely disproportionate. You're still convinced that your understanding is a powerful contribution to truth and makes it what it is. Yet we've emphasized that you need understand nothing. Salvation is easy because it asks nothing you cannot give right now. It feels like a paradox, right? Because we're struggling to understand the text and we're being told that no, you actually don't need to understand anything. You just need to be willing, a small willingness, not even a big willingness. Okay, so paragraph 8. Forget not that it has been your decision to make everything that is natural and easy for you impossible. If you believe the holy instant is difficult for you, it is because you've become the arbiter of what is possible and remain unwilling to give place to one who knows. The whole belief in orders of difficulty and miracles is centered on this. Everything God wills is not only possible, but has already happened. And that is why the past has gone. It never happened in reality. only in your mind, which thought it did, is its undoing needful. And so then this brings us back to the idea that this is simply a waking dream, and that while it has a convincing appearance of reality, that the past is real, actually, in reality, it's over, it's over, it's over, it's over. And the past can only ever happen as ideas, as pictures, images, symbols, sounds occurring in your mind now. And we can't deny that. That's true. We have no proof of the past because even a photograph or footage of the past is still just ink blots on a piece of paper or is still just particles and waves moving through space. But this is the eternal self that we're pointing to that precedes particles and waves moving through space. It's the original intent. The original intent is the labels that we give that would be words like love. It's love that makes us loving. Would be wisdom. It's wisdom that makes us wise. Generosity or abundance. It's abundance that makes us abundant. These are the gifts, these are the graces that precede biology, precede temporal reality, but are these subtle energies that are moved through us and experienced in such a way that we are able to differentiate them to the point of giving them a label, a word, like love, like generosity, like abundance, like wisdom, like humor, and even anger, fear, doubt, worry, and guilt. It's the same, it's not different. Okay, so let's now go to our lesson. So we go back to the home screen workbook for students, and we are at lesson 19. And I'm going to have the narrator read this for us.
Lesson 19. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. The idea for today is obviously the reason why your seeing does not affect you alone. You will notice that at times the ideas related to thinking precede those related to perceiving, while at other times the order is reversed. The reason is that the order does not matter. Thinking and its results are really simultaneous, or cause and effect are never separate. Today we are again emphasizing the fact that minds are joined. This is rarely a wholly welcome idea at first, since it seems to carry with it an enormous sense of responsibility and may even be regarded as an invasion of privacy. Yet it is a fact that there are no private thoughts. Despite your initial resistance to this idea, you will yet understand that it must be true if salvation is possible at all. And salvation must be possible because it is the will of God. The minute or so of mind searching which today's exercises require is to be undertaken with eyes closed. The idea for today is to be repeated first, and then the mind should be carefully searched for the thoughts it contains at that time. As you consider each one, name it in terms of the central person or theme it contains, and holding it in your mind as you do so, say, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about blank. The requirement of as much indiscriminateness as possible in selecting subjects for the practice periods should be quite familiar to you by now, and will no longer be repeated each day, although it will occasionally be included as a reminder. Do not forget, however, that random selection of subjects for all practice periods remains essential throughout. Lack of order in this connection will ultimately make the recognition of lack of order in miracles meaningful to you. Apart from the as needed application of today's idea, at least 3 practice periods are required, shortening the length of time involved if necessary. Do not attempt more than 4.
Okay, so the idea for today's lesson is I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. Okay, so before we begin, remember to take a moment to connect with the incredible, unconditional, loving support that's here, that's actually here, as the support of the furniture, the floor, the air, sounds, your own breath, your own heart beating, blood pumping. Just taking a moment to feel what it is to be alive and that it's enough. And perhaps you're realizing that it's not you doing it. You're not doing any of it. The mind, which is the caboose, just has you thinking that you're the one who chooses, who lives. All right, so let's begin on the exhale. When we begin on the exhale, naturally though, the body wants to inhale, but let's bring our attention first to the exhale as we release the waste wind. We have to let go of the past. We have to let go of that which is no longer needed to make room for the inhale, to make room for the now moment. We can't move into a furnished apartment with our furniture. We have to move the old stuff out first. Okay, ready? I'm going to go back to share the screen now. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes, just letting your eyelids rest on your eyes now. And just be willing to scan your mind for themes, for people who are occupying your attention at this time. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. And just saying to yourself as you scan your mind, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about. Okay, that's our timer. And so the practice periods are 3 to 4. You can set a timer for 1 minute. Like I said in the last video, you might want to take a screenshot of the language for the lesson. All right, now I'm going to go back to share the screen to look at the principles of miracles. So today's section of the text reminded us of number 1, which is that there is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is not harder or bigger than another. They're all the same, all expressions of love are maximal. So maybe that's enough for today, that we'll just land on principle number one as our reminder. And if you want to, you can take a screenshot of that to come back to this during the day. All right, wonderful. So again, thank you for joining with me in our exploration of A Course in Miracles. So apparently we're not needing to understand anything. There's nothing for us to do. Our job is simply to be willing. And so again, I just want to remind you, if you want to, you can take a screenshot of that prayer. I'll put that up again here so that you can do that easily when I edit the video. All right, fantastic. And I always end the video with a reminder to check the alilacenter.org website for joining any online classes that are available, or to join anything in person that we have going on at the Alila Center. You are absolutely welcome. And again, the mindfulness-based meditation class, which is a great way to train our minds to pay attention, that is on the third Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then the natural healing self-help class is on the fourth Monday of the month at 7 p.m. Eastern. All right, wonderful. Have a great day. And I look forward to hearing any of your ahas or your experiences, your challenges as well. And I'll see you next time.